Temitope Olugbile is a member of the economic think tank at Financial Derivatives. On Tuesday, it was all about the US-China trade deal. But again, we've got quite a number of our own issues to deal with. So we have the new VAT, we have MPC meeting ahead, and we have December inflation figures, part of the burning economic issues for the domestic market. Good morning. Great to have you. So we'll just run through this very quickly in terms of what the top issues are. I just mentioned them. VAT is on everyone's lips right now.
Yes, it's still,
and it's ticking off.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it has actually been implemented. So now your new VAT rate is 7.5%. So implementation, we hear, has started already. And then on our burning issues, we also have that the MPC meeting, which was initially scheduled for next week, Monday and Tuesday, has been shifted by a few days to Thursday and Friday. And then we have that December inflation figures are expected to be released by the NBS tomorrow. And Brent remains on our burning issues, still trading between $64 per barrel to $65 per barrel. And interestingly, external reserves, the recent update shows that it actually increased for the second time in 6 months. So that is some good news. And then we have the Naira is stable at the parallel market, 362 Naira per dollar.
Yeah, interesting, all of this coming together. But in terms of the goodies and the downers, how do they all stack up at the moment?
Okay, so let's take the downers first. So we can expect, according to our forecast, we're expecting that inflation figures would increase for the 4th consecutive month tomorrow, according to the figures that will be released tomorrow, and our projection is 12.1%. And we have that, that could also be compounded going forward by the new VAT hike. And we have that CBN Forex intervention is the lowest it has been in approximately 3 months. For the goodies, we have that external reserves, like I mentioned before, the bleeding seems to have eased only marginally though, but it's something to celebrate. And then Brent above $64 per barrel could actually boost external reserves further. We have that it could boost it further.
Okay, great. So in terms of all of this, we will still have inflation. According to the calendar we got yesterday from the MBS, that will be tomorrow.
Yes, it will be tomorrow.
Friday for December inflation data. And later we're going to have, early next week, the MBS price watch for kerosene, diesel, and automotive gas and the rest of them. And you folks at FDC believes that diesel is becoming, is rearing its ugly head in terms of its push into inflation numbers.
Yeah, so because the diesel market remains deregulated, so you see what you tend to see in that market is, arbitrary price hikes, shortages that are not supported by, economic theory. So recently we saw that, the retail price of diesel is up to 230 Naira per litre. And if you look at it, the impact that will have on the consumers is in terms of inflation. Why? Because commodities are transported from rural places, rural areas where they are being produced to urban markets via trucks that are run on diesel. So if you see a hike in this price of diesel, that would translate to hike in logistic costs, and that would feed into urban inflation. This is why typically you see that urban inflation is usually higher than rural inflation. So
but how does diesel and all of that fit into the new power initiative that the government is pursuing?
So yes, so we see that in Lagos we've seen that Magodo residents have signed this kind of premium power agreement where they're paying a little more than the standard tariff, and we see that they've enjoyed at least stable power output
for the segmentation.
Yeah, exactly, and more communities are starting to take up this initiative. And if we see increased uptake of this initiative, what will happen is that your demand for diesel, which is used to power alternative energy sources, could decline, and that would lead to a decline in logistic costs, and that will now translate to inflation. But that would depend on if we see increased uptake in these initiatives, and obviously when the new electricity tariff kicks in April, if we see that translates to stable power output, then that correlation could happen between the price of diesel and increased power output.
Temitope Olugbile, thank you so much for coming through from Financial Derivatives Company, shedding some light on the current state of the consumers market across board, energy, food, and everything else in between.